Now, had Rocky Fielding trained at Mighty Mix, he might just have beaten. Nah, he was never going to beat Canelo Alvarez. He got overwhelmed in the third round, hitting the deck, was it 3-4 times, losing his WBA super middleweight title in the process. It was good to see him give it a go. He didn't seem overawed by the occasion. He was getting stuck in. He was fighting well off the ropes, or you could say fighting as well as he possibly could. His one saving grace was supposed to be a bit of power, being naturally taller, but in reality, Canelo was also the more powerful man. He really didn't have a card to play Fielding. He was just beaten up, chewed up, and spat out. The body shots, he was reacting pretty much instantaneously to them. He later said that it just felt like the wind was getting sucked out of him. And Canelo, while he's methodical and accurate as always, he seemed to know the script a little bit here himself. He wasn't being that cautious on the way up. He kind of had a noticeable gap between the guard, holding his hands up like this, boring in. He knew he could take the power. He's just gone toe-to-toe with Golovkin. He was easily going to take whatever Fielding threw at him. And he caught what shots he did, but ultimately he was landing the better ones. They put it 35 body shots landed, 35 good crisp ones, if that number is accurate, in just under 3 rounds, is very good. So fair play to him. He didn't freeze up, he did what he could, and he seems pretty happy about the whole thing. He goes home with a decent paycheck. Now, Canelo is still only 28. It's hard to believe considering how long he's been around. I remember watching him fight when he was just a teenager. He's been around for ages. He's really seasoned considering his years. And he's pretty much at the top of his career now, still riding high after the Golovkin victory in the rematch. He's got, he's at the top of his mountain. And he said now, interestingly, he's willing to fight at super middle and middleweight. Now, that is a potential minefield considering things, but he's probably going to select his opponents carefully. With De La Hoya always up behind one shoulder, he's going to plot things carefully. Though, respect to Canelo, I've said it before, the likes of fighting Erislandy Lara, he's never seemed like a guy who's cherry-picked people too much. Yeah, there is the rehydration clauses that he puts in that leaves a bit of a sour aftertaste, but he is willing to take on challenges, much like De La Hoya was back in the day. Now, the prospect of a fight against Callum Smith for boxing fans is very interesting. He is a monster at the weight, Smith. The other Liverpudlian, as we know, he beat Rocky Fielding in a round. It would be an absolute dream for him if he could get Canelo to come over to Anfield and do that, but I very much doubt that will happen. That would be giving up too much power for Canelo, and while I'd still favour for Canelo against Smith for the skill differential, that is a tough fight. And will the risk-reward merit that happening anytime soon? I can't see that. It's really at middleweight where I want to see Canelo fight again, providing he can still keep his weight all good and doesn't balloon up too much. I'd like to see him against a Jacobs or a Jamel Charlo, or if he can stop being an idiot, Billy Joe Saunders. Ideally, I'd like to see him fight 3 times next year with 1 or 2 meaningful fights. Not sure he ranks pound for pound, maybe top 3, but you got to give him congrats. Let's just hope he gets another meaningful one next year. I'm not really that fussed about the Triple G rubber match.